You're listening to the Money Mike syndicated radio podcast, and we're back with you again. We're going to get right to it. We got Sheryl Swoopes, Catlin Clark. Sheryl Swoopes made a couple misrepresentation of mistakes of what the career facts were for Catlin Clark, but that's okay. I'm going to break it down for you, get right to it. Catlin Clark, man, oh man, what a player. And for Sheryl Swoopes to kind of make a misrepresentation of the age and number of years the player has played, I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, let's not forget who we're talking about here. We're talking about Sheryl Swoopes, NCAA champion, Naismith Player of the Year, four-time MVP. He's got 4 WNBA rings, three-time All-Defense. You got to look at it, 3-time gold medalist. So you're not talking about an average individual in Sheryl Swoopes. And I'd probably say Sheryl Swoopes has probably forgotten more basketball than Catlin Clark has learned at this stage of her career. However, the truth is the truth, and Sheryl Swoopes says she's going to struggle when she goes into the WNBA. And Money Mike sees that completely different. And folks, I'll tell you, Catlin Clark is a superstar. Catlin Clark is what the WNBA needs today, and Catlin Clark can get it done. And I've looked at her. I've went back and I've seen a lot of players that can play this game. And one of the things that I see is, man, when you look at her shooting ability, Catlin Clark's game is going to transfer right to the WNBA and go right past the WNBA. And the WNBA player is going to have to get used to covering a player that can come in and change the game. She's probably going to end up in the Midwest, and she's bringing a following with her. And the young lady can get it in. Now, when you're talking about shooting, the WNBA and the ability to shoot, she by far exceeds what the WNBA players are able to do today. And it wouldn't be surprising to me if Catlin Clark walks in the WNBA and is a WNBA All-Star immediately. And it wouldn't surprise me if she walked in there and was the MVP of the league. And again, it's not surprising to me that Catlin Clark is a corporate enterprise business model dream. You've got a face of the franchise, without a doubt. And you also have a new face coming in that's going to be able to compete in the WNBA. And there are a lot of good players in the WNBA. Now, here's where you got to look at it, and you can't get all confused in the jealousy and everything that's going on. Because when you get to the WNBA, here's what you're facing, and you got a little bit different style that you're going to be playing. And they're going to get up and down. I mean, Zaya Cook is a great player. I mean, we have to look at it, and Zoe Cook, and you can look at what she could do with the basketball. So, if you put Catlin Clark and you line her up against Chelsea Gray, you're going to have to look at that and say, okay, who can do this better? But I can tell you what. Here's what I discovered about Catlin Clark. She can pass the ball. Okay, she can drop dimes. She's got great vision. She's got great court vision. And she's got a type of body that can stand up to the banging. Now, that's going to be the number one thing what Swoopes is talking about. That's what everybody's talking about, is how the WNBA player is going to handle it. Well, the first thing they're going to do, they're going to handle it the same way when Larry Bird came into the league. And Catlin Clark reminds me of Larry Bird. Okay? Here's what's going to happen. You're going to get in there, and they're going to challenge her. They're going to see what she's made of, because they got to put her through the test and see if she's real. Now, when they find out she's real and she starts dropping all them buckets on them, then they're going to have to respect her. And if you look back for how the WNBA is built and how the NBA was built, and the NBA was struggling at the time until Magic Johnson came in and Larry Bird. So there's always going to be a controversy that's going to be in there, and you got to have that. And when Larry Bird came in the league rose up to the top. So when Catlin Clark gets to the WNBA, it's going to be good for all WNBA players. Because I can tell you this, Money Mike, we always look at the money flow. And I can guarantee you Catlin Clark is not going to be making $1.5 million a year. Okay? So whatever the WNBA is going to have to do to change that, whatever the the WNBA commissioner, Engelbert's got to do to change that, I can guarantee you this. They will lift that $1.5 million a year for Catlin Clark because she's coming in there with a lot of money, a lot of influence. So getting back to it, when I look at her, let's talk about what she does. Man, this player's got the best footwork and shooting I've ever seen. I mean, this player can stop on a dime, she can rotate, and here's where the shooters, you got to put it together and understand how it transfers. She's using angles, stopping on a dime, utilizing footwork. She's coming into the WNBA with more range than any player that's playing in the WNBA today. I repeat, Catlin Clark is coming in with more shooting range than any other player coming in. Now, she's coming in with Magic Johnson style of passing. So, the teammates, you better be eyes up because you might get hit in the head with the basketball. She's dropping dimes. Okay, then you got the handles. Now, here's where the part that she's going to have to make an adjustment and figure out because eventually you got to play basketball, and when you're a professional, you got to play defense. Now, that's going to be a little tougher because guess what? She's going to take some beatings there, but she's going to balance it out on the offensive end. So when I get to Sheryl Swoopes and what she said, man, Sheryl Swoopes is like Michael Jordan, okay? Let's be honest, okay? Julius Erving, okay? I mean, you're talking about the best woman basketball to ever play, and the best woman basketball player to ever play actually came out of, Louisiana Tech. So this is an old school basketball mentality Sheryl Swoopes has. I remember watching Sheryl Swoopes over at Texas State University, one of the HBCUs. And, she just hasn't been around good basketball in a long time. And, the game has changed. So she's got a right to her opinion. And I got a right to my opinion. And the only difference between me and Sheryl Swoopes is I tell you it's my opinion. Okay, but if it becomes truth, I've given you the facts before it happened. And these are my facts that I'm laying out to you that Sheryl Swoopes will be incorrect. Okay, that Catlin Clark will be a WNBA All-Star her first year. Catlin Clark will also have an opportunity if she's going to go for the WNBA title to be the MVP of the year. And here's my other opinion that Catlin Clark is a dream come true for the WNBA and the corporate enterprise business model because now they're going to sell a lot more jerseys. They're going to sell a lot more tickets. They're going to sell a lot more food. And they're going to sell a lot more commercials. So here's the deal. It's good for everybody. Sheryl Swoopes, the controversy, we get it. You're old school, but Catlin Clark's new school, and I'm telling you that game with that footwork, the range, the mechanics of the shooting, the way she releases it, the high point of the release, and getting the range from going outside 10, 15 feet deeper each and every time, man, that's a ball player. So you're going to have to get over it. She's here. Okay, we had Jason Williams, White Chocolate. We had Larry Bird. We had Rick Barry, but then his son came in with the funky music, Britt Barry, and won the dunk contest. So, folks, the bottom line, Money Mike's telling you, there's good white ball players everywhere. She happens to be one of them. She's coming in. We welcome you. And we're going to get it in because the WNBA is going to be exciting. When she comes, everywhere she goes is going to be a sellout, and the young fans in America are going to be able to enjoy it. So the sisters, all the black ball players that are playing in the WNBA, you're going to take her through the initiation. But after she passes that, everything's going to ease out. We'll get back to playing basketball. Now, here at Money Mike's, we tell you all things are possible to those who believe. And we look forward to each and every day. We got a Super Bowl coming up. But for Catlin Clark, she's going to break the record, the NCAA scoring record. She's going to take it away. Remembering Kelsey Plum, boy, she used to put it in the hole. But you know what? God is a creator, and he makes something each and every day. And believe you me, there's more to come. The women's basketball is such a rise that the WNBA won't be able to hold it down. And guess what? The players play every night. So we're going to get it in. You keep watching. Money Mike has told you his opinion. Catlin Clark is going to rock and roll, break the record. Sheryl Swoopes, we got love and respect for you. You are the greatest of all time. Keep doing what you're doing. We're going to get better and better, and we promise you we'll take you higher and higher. You're listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast.